Hello everybody, welcome back. So today I've had this thing sitting around for a really long time. It's like a little small little round, I think you could just call it a hat box. I'm not sure what size hat would fit in here, but it's been sitting around for a long time, and you can see I've done something with it in the past, decided I didn't like it, and then just put it to the side. Like I'll just kind of lose focus or whatever, forget about it. And so I thought this would be a really great thing to use some of my UpCycled tissue scraps. I have tons and tons. I have a whole huge bin full and a whole huge binder full of scraps. And so this is from the Natural History paper. There is a link in the comments where you can purchase this. So I think I might use a piece of this on the top to use these sides. I must have cut whatever was underneath here. I cut out a big piece. So I'm going to use that. And then I thought I would use perhaps the birds from this amazing, I think it's called Brocante. I might be saying it wrong, and maybe you all know what it's called. Maybe it's Brocante. I don't know. Anyways, this is a beautiful transfer set, and there is a link for this in the comments below as well. I brought some magical chalk paint from Pixie. There is a link in the comments so you can buy yours. This paint is amazing. It is a chalk paint, but it also has acrylic in it. And so the acrylic really makes it dry, rock hard, and it also helps the pigmentation. It's amazing. And then the calcium carbonate helps to reactivate it. So if you haven't top coated it, you can spray water on it and reactivate it. It really is great for blending. So I brought the Bombini cocktail, saltwater taffy, chai latte. I brought some blue Java banana, but I'm not sure if I'm using it yet. We'll see what happens. So the very first thing I need to do then is I need to paint this main part here. So I'm going to squeeze out some paints. That is a really great part of this Pixie paint are the flip tops. And I'm just going to get one, maybe two coats on here. And then see where I go from there. All right, so I started with one. And I'm going to get some of the Bombini. Look at that. It's such a pretty color. Oh my goodness. I'm using the same brush. I'm just going to layer in some of the Bombini. I don't want it to take over, so I'm getting some of these saltwater taffy in as well. Oh, that's a beautiful blend. Look at that color. So good. So good. Because of the high pigmentation in this paint, a little really does go a long way. So I have probably squirted out way too much onto my mat. Today I'm using the Turquoise Iris Shortstop. This is my favorite brush for crafting of all time. I love how small it is, and I just love that it's, what is that, maybe 1.5 inches, or is that 2 inches? Let's use my finger to measure. It might be about 2 inches. I don't know. I just really love it. I think it's perfect for my hand and for all of the smaller things that I love to create. I'm taking the rest of this, or most of it, just the saltwater taffy with just a little bit of the Bombini on it. And I'm just covering the lid. That way I kind of have the same exact surface to work with as I have below on this. All right, I think I'm going to take this piece and put it, even though it doesn't fit all the way around, I'm going to put something else here. An image, a poem, something will go here. So I am going to use a wet medium to put this on because I want the paper to be saturated so that some of this shows through underneath. So make sure I have this where I want it, and I'm not worrying about the edges right now because I'm going to cut those off later. Now listen, if you are somebody that measures, go ahead and measure this. I'm not a measurer. This is how I do it. I am just going to get that paint off of there. Chunky. All right. I am using Paint Pixie's Meltdown. It is a top coat, but it also works great for decoupage. And so right now it's actually sealing the paint, and then it will, look at, you can see all that color come through. Isn't that so pretty? Then it will seal this paper down as well. Not super duper worried about my edges right now because I'm going to be cutting them off, and so I may need to reapply the Meltdown as I go. But the Meltdown's so cool because it has a wax-like finish, so if you like more of a matte, sort of muted finish, which I do, you will love this Meltdown. All of the Paint Pixie products can be found in the comments. I have a link there for you. There goes my water bottle. Get that out of the way. So you know when you put a very wet medium on tissue, the tissue is going to wrinkle. Don't worry about it unless you have like weird brush strokes in it, right? Because as it dries, that's all going to go away. All right, I'm going to take my heat gun and dry this real quick. And you know, before I do that, I'm just going to go around and make sure that the Meltdown isn't pooling anywhere. Make sure that you're not brushing super hard during this because you don't want to tear the paper. Just want to make sure I don't have any big piles of Meltdown just laying there, because that will make it harder to dry. Okay, all right, I'm going to dry this. All right, so this is dry. I have a well-used sanding block. I buy these in the medium grit, and then I just use them until they can't be used anymore. And this one's getting a little dull, but I'm just sanding off my edges. All right, I'm just going to go with my Meltdown and just make sure this whole thing is stuck down. So I'm going to put an entire coat. I'm going to put it over this whole thing. And then no matter what I choose to do on top of this, there'll be a really, really nice top coat and a nice tooth. All right, so with the top on, I'm going to have just a little bit of space. That's, what is that? Probably 3-ish or so inches to be seen. So I'm going to kind of search in my things to see what I have to go there. But in the meantime, I want to see what kind of washi I have to maybe go up top here and figure out what I want to do on the top. I love this bee here. I'm just going to cut some things out. And because there's a bee on this, I may just go with that theme. So I'm going to cut out a few little things, but I love this transfer set because there's so many options. Thinking about this maybe for the cover, but I am not sure yet. I love this bee. So this is going to be all about bees. Right? We need to save our bees. We'll celebrate them. I kind of like this. And then there's 2 here also. I don't want to go crazy with the bees. I think this one might just be, haha, did you hear that? I might just do something like this. Let me look at the size of these. This one might be a better size. Maybe this. Let's do. There's so many choices. I like this one. I do. I just don't know if I want that butterfly in there. I feel like it's all about bees. Probably want those off. Okay, so I'm super visual when I work. I have to really, I think this might be really pretty right there with this. And then I wonder if this is going to be too much over the whole thing. Probably. So let's see how else I can arrange this. Kind of like it. I have to look. Now this is where I'm going to need to be really careful. I don't want to stick it onto my, I don't want to stick it on all the way. I just want it to rest here for a sec. So I'm kind of looking at the balance here, right? And it's not quite right for an asymmetrical, so this might have to be, he's way too big. It might have to be this guy. I do quite like this though. So I just committed. All right, this is so pretty. Love it. I am going to put this back on here. I may just use that in this. I don't know. These are still pretty, still can be used. So put that off to the side. This will get a coat of Meltdown on top of it. Just see if I want some washi on the side or what I want there. This is super pretty right here. Let's see. Let's look at that balance. Let's look. I'm looking at the space in between. Just making sure that that is all nicely balanced. you know, mixed media, collage. It's all a puzzle, right? And you just need to put it together. Maybe it's just throwing me off. All right, I'm just gonna go with it. I try not to think too hard about my decisions. It's totally cute. I love it. I really do. I think it's really pretty. Okay, so here's the top. So now let's make the bottom a little bit more cohesive, and then I think I have a bee poem. It might be like so cute to put right here. All right, so I was kind of digging through all of my stuff, and I found a small little poem, and it has two cute little girls next to it. So I think I'm going to use that. But I do want to bring this together a little bit, and I think I need to have some ink on here. So let me grab some inks here. I'm thinking about the crushed olive a little bit, yeah. And then the broken china would be perfect. So I'm just going to take a little applicator. So I want to, I'm probably gonna do the green first. So this is the crushed olive distress ink. And I'm just gonna be kind of careful, but look, ooh, that's so pretty. Just a nice little pop. Brings it right in. So this is going to come here. When the top is on, it'll probably be to about here or so. So maybe I'll put it up a little bit, but I'll ink this up too. This is the broken china. Oh, it's perfect. Totally perfect. Yes, love this. I might take a little bit of this ink. I may still put some washi. I'm gonna take a little bit of the crushed olive and just bring it around this edge. I have to still look and see what I have for washi. That's so pretty. Very, very pretty. All right, so keep these out because I'll probably use them on this. I also want this guy on here somewhere. Maybe next to the poem. So what I'm going to do is just give that a little bit of a rip so I can look at this a little bit better. All right, so this talks about a hornet. It's kind of the closest I could find. Kind of want the girls on. So I kind of want it like this. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use some matte gel to put this on because it's a thicker piece of paper. And you can see how thick this is. I'm going to paint the whole thing with the gel. There will be a link to this matte gel in the comments. I love soft gel or matte gel for a thicker paper. Just going to use the ink that's on here. Kind of bring this all together here. Need a little bit more of the broken china. So when I put the top on, you can see the poem, and that's so adorable. All right, moving on. So let me put this guy on real quick. And then I found some washi I really like for around the cover. It is really cute, isn't it? I might have to grab the transfer set and find another one for maybe here-ish, but let's see. How do I want this on to? I think I want this to be, oh, this is adorable. You all, this is adorable. All right, I found this fun washi tape. I really just like it. I'm going to put it so that it is in the middle of this top here. But if you are using washi tape, even though it's sticky, it's not going to stay on unless you glue it. So I'm going to use my Yoo-hoo. I don't know what this is called, y'all. Yoo-hoo. Right here. It doesn't match up there, but I don't care. That's so cute. This is adorable. So I feel like it needs a little bit more ink in here. Should probably just take this off. I'm just really liking that washi. Got a little boo-boo right here. Let's just use this. And I'm going to go along these edges so they really, really look torn and worn. All right. Trying to decide if I want this bee like in there. And there's one here. I kind of feel like it needs to go here. I kind of like it there. I still have this guy. I could put him on. He's kind of scary. It is adorable. I kind of want one in here. I'm just going to put him. Before I decide on that, I want to just kind of see, maybe move him over a touch. All right. This is the last piece. All right, so that guy is on. What I'm going to do now is just put one coat of the Meltdown over all of this because I want to make sure that everything is protected as best I can. And just look at that shine that the Meltdown leaves. It's so pretty. It won't be as glossy when it dries. It's just a really nice matte finish. Looks like wax without all the work of wax. And it's so adorable. Let me dry this. And I'm calling this done. I think it's so pretty. Roll it around a little bit. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you visit me over at my website, janebelanteart.com. You will find classes there, my really popular mixed media club, and some inspiration. And I will see you next time.